Yo, what's good YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoot, back with the APA Evolution. And we've got season number 1, week number 9 here, where we're taking on Mio, coach of the Oklahoma City Thundurus. So, as you can see on screen, our team hasn't changed any. We've got Zygarde 50%, Mega Diancie, Tang Growth, Crocodile, Slowbro, Miltank, Cabalion, Alola Marowak, Oricorio, all forms, and the Piloswine, where our opponent has Mega Scizor, the Latios, Keldeo, Gliscor, Rabombi, Rotom Heat, Gigalith, Decidueye, and the Weavile. My Z-move users are Zygarde 50% and Oricorio, and my opponent's Z-move users are Keldeo and Rabombi. So yeah, pretty scary squad, despite having only 9 Pokemon. Very scary squad, but we have a nice squad too. So, well, it's been fun to use anyway. I wouldn't say it's really nice on paper, but it's really fun to use. We've got Mega Diancie with a timid nature. We're rocking Protect to scout for things like Choice Scarf, Keldeo, potentially coverage on the Latios, things like that. It's really nice lead versus Rabombi as well, and I can scout for hidden power still with the Protect, and obviously allows me to scout for Bullet Punch on Scizor, which is going to be an obvious move on that mod, I do believe. It's a nice revenge killer to almost any set of Mega Diancie. And we've got Moonblast, which hits his entire squad for neutral or super effective damage outside of the Rotom Heat and the Mega Scizor, which we have Power Gem and Hidden Power Fire for those two Pokemon, respectively. So, next up we've got an Assault Vest Tangrowth, switches into Keldeo pretty well, switches into Rotom Heat pretty well, Latios, even the Gliscor. We've got Seed Bomb, Knockoff, Hidden Power Fire, and Endeavor. Endeavor can maybe catch my opponent off guard. Seed Bomb is there for the Keldeo. If he is Calm Mind, I don't want it to be able to set up on me being like a Giga Drain or something like that. Just go ahead and bop it with the Seed Bomb. The only way this is going to backfire is if my opponent catches a Scald Burn, which would be unfortunate. And Knockoff is to get rid of items. It's very good versus the Latios, the Decidueye, and hitting the Gliscor upon switching, getting rid of a potential Toxic Orb, which is a likely item. And then Hidden Power Fire is there for the Mega Scizor, opens up holes for Mega Diancie. It's really nice there. So next up we have Miltank, which is an offensive variant, but still with the Chople Berry, I'm a decent switch in to the Weavile with my Thick Fat ability. And can take hits from Scizor and Miltank, excuse me, not Miltank, but Gliscor. And like I mentioned, I have an offensive variant this week, an Adamant Nature with Return, Ice Punch, Fire Punch, and Milk Drink. So just 3 attacks and pretty much recovery. And Return hits everything outside of the Scizor and the Gigalith, which Scizor is hit by the Fire Punch. And then we've got the Ice Punch for the Gliscor to maybe catch it off guard and weaken it for the rest of my squad. Next up we have a Chople Berry Cabalion, 2 Chople Berry Pokemon. Weavile's a threat, and we've got a Hasty Nature with Taunt, Close Combat, Iron Head, and Hidden Power Ice, max HP, and nearly max speed, or actually max speed to speed tie with the Keldeo, which is nice for us. The Chople Berry actually helps versus Keldeo, but it's mostly there for things like Weavile and Scizor if they've got like Low Kick or Superpower or something like that. So next up we have a Colbur Berry, Alola Marowak. Again, Colbur Berry there helps us out against the Weavile. We've got an Impish Nature, max HP, max defense, takes on Scizor pretty well. Fire Punch, Shadow Bone, and Sleep Talk, or Rest Talk, I should say. Pretty cool set. With its coverage, pretty much nothing switches in too safely outside of maybe like the Gliscor or a defensive Gigalith, but that's about it. Next up we have Sub-Zero, our Piloswine with the Eviolite and the Thick Fat ability. This thing is fat, really fat. Takes hits from Weavile pretty good. Takes hits from the Latios and Rotom Heat extremely well, and can threaten those Pokemon. Not necessarily the Rotom Heat, because I'm not rocking any rock coverage, which is unfortunate, but I think the rest of my team does with Rotom Heat pretty well, and I will get Stealth Rocks up with my Piloswine here, and then spamming Bull Stab and having Ice Shard there to potentially revenge kill something like Decidueye, Gliscor, or the Mega Latios, or excuse me, not Mega, but regular Latios is really nice. That's it for my squad. My opponent has, I think, 2 potential Stealth Rockers in the Gliscor and the Gigalith, but he does have Sticky Web options in the Rabambi, so that's really scary. He has all of his hazard removal is defog options in the Mega Scizor, Latios, Gliscor, maybe the Rabambi, I'm not sure on that, don't quote me, but definitely the Rotom Heat and the Decidueye all have defog support. So if he brings Sticky Webs and he wants to remove my hazards, he's going to have to remove his hazards as well, so that's really nice. But yeah, that's going to be it, and we can go ahead and hop into the replay and see what happened here. Alright, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Keldeo, Weavile, the Latios, Mega Scizor, Gliscor, and the Decidueye. So pretty scary squad. No Rotom Heat, which was nice, sort of. No Weavile, or excuse me, not Weavile. Can't believe I just said that. Excuse me, no Gigalith. So we know his only Stealth Rocker is going to be the Gliscor in this match. And he does have plenty of hazard removal. No Rabambi, so no Sticky Webs or anything like that. No Quiver Dance. But yeah, really scary squad nonetheless. When I was looking at this, I looked at it like, okay, if I can weaken the Scizor, every time I bring in Mega Diancie, I'm going to net a knockout or a 2-hit KO. Unless that's a specially defensive Decidueye. Or very, very Spidef Gliscor, which I think is still 2-hit KO'd after Stealth Rocks. So, yeah, it's going to be the game plan, is to weaken things for the Mega Diancie. So, hopping into the replay here, my opponent's going to lead off with the Keldeo. I'm going to predict that as it led off versus all of my Stealth Rockers really, really, really well. So, I'm going to lead off with my Tangrowth. It also led off well versus my Mega Diancie if he was Choice Scarf. So, I'll lead off with my Tangrowth here, and he's going to go out into his Scizor. I'm going to click the knockoff, expecting the Gliscor to come in, but he does go make the best play and goes into his Mega Scizor. I almost clicked Hidden Power Fire, but ultimately didn't want Gliscor to be able to come in and get his Toxic Orb activated with his Poison Heal here. But that's exactly what happens, as I expect my opponent to stay in and maybe set up, or I didn't really expect him to roost there, but just in case Mega Diancie was a huge threat in his opinion, he may have wanted to roost to be at the maximum amount of HP as possible. So I went for the Hidden Power Fire here. He does go into the Gliscor, gets the Toxic Orb activated, and now he will start to heal himself. I am going to go hard into my Piloswine and take the opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks as well as he goes out into his Mega Scizor. Unfavorable matchup for me. I'm going to hard switch into my Miltank, and he goes straight for the knockoff. So I'll lose my Chople Berry. That's really unfortunate for me, but I am going to be able to just click the Fire Punch here, get a crit. It's not going to matter unless my opponent stays in here and drops to the Ice Punch, and otherwise wouldn't have. But he is going to scout for the Ice Punch and go out into his Keldeo, which was a fantastic play in my opinion. Very fantastic play, and he goes for the Focus Blast. So I'm unsure if he was Choice Specs there, as that would have did a lot of damage. But we'll see later on in the match, potentially. So I'm going to hard switch out to my Cobalion here, as my opponent is able to go into his Gliscor here. I get a Hidden Power Ice off and do big, big damage to the Gliscor, as I easily tank the Earthquake, being, max HP and whatnot. So I am going to taunt my opponent as he goes into the Mega Scizor here on the Hidden Power Ice, but he just U-turns out, so that was really nice. I wish I had close combated, but he does get his not Mega, why do I keep saying that? He gets his Latios in here. I do go out into my Piloswine. I am just going to click the Shard to weaken the Latios. It could have had Surf. It may have not been locked in, I'm not sure. So I just wanted to get that chip damage off. I'm going to hard switch out into my Alola Marowak here, as my opponent goes, I think he roosted, and then he goes for the knockoff, as my Fire Punch bounced off of Mega Scizor. 4 times super effective, stab Fire Punch, bounced off Mega Scizor. That was insane to me. But I guess without the thick club, Alola Marowak is that weak. Anyways, I force out the Gliscor. I'm hard switching into my Piloswine. I believe it roosted up, and he hard switches out into his Keldeo. And I'm just going to go into my Tangrowth, make the safe play here. And he's going to go out into his Mega Scizor once again, as I believe I double out into my Mega Diancie, expecting his, not Scizor. I did not expect Scizor to come out there. However, he does go for Bullet Punch, and it looks like a 2-hit KO, and I don't want Miltank to go down for no reason, so I hard switch into my Cobalion here, and what I could do is taunt or just click Close Combat. And I'm just going to click Taunt. It's best play by far. And he goes out into his Decidueye here and goes straight for the Spirit Shackle as I hard switch into my Milk Tank, and I'm going to Milk Drink up as my opponent reveals the low sweep. So that's a pretty cool take there, able to lower my speed as well and outpace me on the following turn. So what I'm going to do is just click Fire Punch here, and I get the burn. So that's really unfortunate for my opponent. It did look like with the Salac Berry, excuse me, first of all, without the Salac Berry, I would have been able to outpace him. And without the burn, he wouldn't have got his Salac Berry boost. So, kind of, I mean, I'm not going to say it evens out or anything like that, but he wouldn't have gotten a speed boost, and I could have went into Tangrowth, unless he had Roost, and I could have also went into Mega Diancie on the following turn, because a +2 Shadow Sneak will not knock me out from the range that I'm at, and I would outpace him without the Salac Berry boost, which he would not have gotten without the burn. So the burn sucked for him, but it also sucked in a sense that, you know, it popped his Salac Berry. Now if he was rest, it would be really bad. So I'm going to go into my Piloswine here. I can just click Ice Shard as my opponent switches into his Mega Scizor once again, excuse me. And what I'm going to do is go hard out into my little Marowak as my opponent does Roost up. I'm going to roll a Sleep Talk here, see what I can potentially get as my opponent goes into the Decidueye, and after Stealth Rock damage and burn damage, this will faint, I believe. And I'm not sure what I rode. I think rest, but it fell. Anyways, he goes into his Keldeo once again. I'm going to hard switch out into my Tangrowth as he reveals the Hydro Pump. I'm going to be able to easily tank that as my opponent follows up with an Icy Wind, which was huge because I expected my opponent to switch, and he was able to beat me down here. And I do get the knockout here with Seed Bomb finally. I'm not sure what his move was. Maybe a Z move. Not 100%. But he does bring in his Latios here. Goes for the Psychic as I sack my Cobalion. I'm going to bring in my Mega Diancie here. I know I'm out of range of at least one Psychic, no matter what his set is. And I go for the Moonblast. Unfortunately, he was probably Scarf there. And now my team is looking very, very Weavile weak. He is able to knock me out with the Ice Shard. And he's going to go for the Icicle Crash here, revealing that he is not locked into Ice Shard. And then that means he's going to reveal Knockoff as well. And then his last move will probably be the Low Kick. I believe he reveals it. Goes ahead and reveals his entire moveset. So yeah, really good game to Mio. Very fun one. Very, I don't want to say fast-paced, but we didn't take a lot of time on our turns, despite it being a 40-turn battle. Very good game. A few plays here and there could be made differently. But that's Pokemon. Hindsight's 2020. That's going to be it, though. Let me know what you guys thought about the prep of the plays on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.